This is too short. You're too short. There we go. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another YouTube video here today. You guessed it. I bought another guitar pedal because I love buying music gear and guitar pedals. And also I got a really good deal on this, so it's justified. So basically the story goes like this. Yesterday, I'm working at Guitar Center, working the closing shift, and when I'm strolling past the used pedal cabinet, I notice a little something in there. The Electro-Harmonix JHS Lizard Queen pedal. In the box, essentially brand new, for only 30 buckaroons. Something you may not know is that I've been looking at this pedal for quite a while now. For a while there was a pretty good deal on it on Sweetwater and Guitar Center and stuff where it was going for like 40 bucks. This is basically a brand new one for $10 less than a brand new one. So I snatched this bad boy up out of the pedal cabinet, I bought it, and here it is. Let's open this thing up. As you can see, got the box. Inside we have a bunch of warranty, registration, paper crap, and of course, the pedal itself. Really great build quality, a nice metal casing on here. The Lizard Queen is a fixed gain octave fuzz pedal. An octave pedal duplicates your signal and then place it on top of each other an octave higher or lower. And fuzz is just like distortion, but more distortion. And the fact that it's fixed gain means that you can't adjust how fuzzy the pedal gets. There's basically a master volume knob, a knob to adjust the octave, and then this knob is kind of like a blend knob. You just get like some different tones out of it. But let's face it, we're all gathered here today because we want to hear how this thing sounds and figure out if it's actually a good usable pedal and worth the money or overhyped. All right, let's get this thing plugged up. We're gonna swap it out for the DS1 for right now. That there. All right, pedals powering on. Alright, ladies and gents, I have everything hooked up. Now it's time to try it out. So the current setup that you are hearing is my Yamaha Pacifica into the pedals and then into my Fender Frontman 212 amp. This right here is just the clean sound. Alright, we're gonna put all the knobs at 12 o'clock and switch this bad boy on. Whoa! It sounds pretty cool, honestly. The one thing I love here is that there's absolutely no noise. Sometimes when I have the DS1 on, it introduces quite a bit of noise. The other thing about this pedal is that being fixed gain, you have to kind of adjust how much fuzziness you want by your guitar's volume. So if you want to go max fuzziness, you gotta be on volume 10, essentially. Which sounds really good, but it's very loud in the room. You probably can't tell, but it's very loud. Oh yeah, it's clipping the signal quite a bit. What we'll do is turn the volume on this down. That's pretty cool. It sounds good. What I'm gonna try now is messing with some of these settings. So I'm not totally sure what the balance knob does. We'll just turn it all the way to the left. The balance knob essentially blends between two different fuzz circuits. Basically just allows you to blend between a sharper, more aggressive fuzz and a warmer, more mellow kind of fuzz tone. Oh, hello there. That's all the way to the left. Getting my grippers all over this thing. And this is all the way to the right. All the way to the left has a lot more high end, and the more to the right, it gives it more of like a little bit of a darker feel. So to my ear, it sounded like the shadow side was more of the aggressive sounding fuzz, and the sun side was more of the mellow, warm fuzz. But when you look it up, it says it's supposed to be the opposite way, so I don't really know. It's supposed to be a lot more pronounced when you have the octave setting all the way up. The octave knob supposedly makes the balance knob have a much greater effect. I don't know. I think somewhere in the middle, a little bit to the right side sounds good. Now let's try to mess with the octave feature. All the way up. It gets a lot more thin when you have the octave all the way up. Let's try octave all the way down. So with octave all the way down, you get a much more powerful sound. It honestly sounds really good, and I don't even have anything else in the signal chain. We could do some delay, maybe some reverb. This whole time I've also been running the single coil. This whole time I've just been running the single coil on the neck, so what I'm gonna do is switch to the humbucker. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Drop a comment, like and subscribe down in the comments below. It's just an angry pedal. It's just angry. I will say that from my experience so far, at least, what you don't want to do with it is something that I do quite often in my playing. Putting really like dissonant sounding notes together. So I do a lot of this stuff usually. But this little sequence of notes right here just kind of sounds like pure torture together when you run it through a fuzz pedal. Doesn't really give you a usable sound. However, there is one thing I want to try. I'm going to put the volume up, and then I'm going to turn my guitar volume way down, because I want to see how close we can border on getting like somewhat of a clean tone. So if you play some lead stuff or play pretty quietly, you can get a pretty decent clean tone that kind of borders on the edge of breakup, but then you can kind of... So I'm finding that kind of the sweet spot for this pedal is having the octave down more towards 12 o'clock. And then also having the balance knob a little bit more towards the sun side. I also like the vibe of kind of turning the volume knob down and then turning your guitar volume up a little bit. Honestly, if you ask me though, it sounds really good coming out of the amp, and I don't really need to pair a whole lot of other pedals with it. Okay, last thing I want to mention here. It sounded really good in the room coming out of my amp, but I will say that when listening back to the audio that I recorded from the microphone directly on the amp, my thoughts are kind of like, meh, it sounds cool still, but it didn't sound as cool as when I heard it in the room. So I would recommend, if you're using this pedal and miking up an amp, to kind of back off a little bit from the cab in order to get a little bit more of the sound of the room, because I think that's what really kind of makes it shine. Pretty cool. I like that. It sounds cool. Me too. It sounds like Smashing Pumpkins. Like, I'm a big Smashing Pumpkins fan. That's why I've always liked fuzz. Like the op amp Big Muff, all those other Big Muff pedals. It has to be a specific song, you know? A specific song or a specific thing that I'm going for. Like, I know it's not gonna become like a big part of my sound. This does a thing. Specific thing. Yeah, you know? So yeah, man. That's the pedal. Bro, this is actually like the 7th spam call that I've gotten today. Stop calling me. So ultimately, what do I think about the Lizard Queen pedal? The main thing that comes to mind with this pedal is that it kind of does a specific thing. There's a sound that you can get out of it that is very particular, and unless this is kind of your sound, it's probably going to be a pedal that you only use in certain situations when you're doing a specific kind of lead sound or whatever. Essentially, it's probably not going to be an always on type of pedal. I think honestly, if you can get it for 40 bucks and you like this kind of sound, for only 30 or 40 bucks, it's totally worth it. You should totally pick one up. But if you're not really a fuzz guy, you're not into the whole super distorted tones, this pedal probably isn't for you because you're gonna buy it and not use it a whole lot. If the price on these ever does go back up to like 100 bucks, probably wouldn't recommend it then because I feel like I wouldn't pay 100 bucks for this. So yeah, that is pretty much gonna do it for my review of the Lizard Queen pedal. Thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate it as always, and I will see you all in the next